So I wanted to ask you, seeing how things are developing right now with the polls and liberals are having a bounce back, what is your take on the current situation in the elections?
Yeah, so I see, first of all, the members of our society need to be awaken up, right? They need to know when the elections are happening, and we must make sure that we go out to vote, whichever party we vote for. Now, what we're seeing, talking to people in the community, that most members of our community gave Liberal Party about 10 years in the power. And they said the same thing, the affordability, and people are running into these challenges, those challenges. But then we saw taxes after taxes, situations after situations. But you're so right, we're seeing that their polls are bouncing back. Now, whether it's the resume of Mark Carney, who is appearing to be a very strong leader who could help Canada to re-emerge, but at the same time, he was also helping Trudeau to evolve some of those policies. So, but in defense of people, because we are so ordinary people, right now we're just seeing whether are we saving money on gas, are we saving money on these things, and there's a likelihood, possibility that Liberals might be coming back in power.
So what are some of the issues, speaking to the community, that you feel voters really care about right now?
I think if you're talking from the Canadian Muslims perspective, then definitely Muslims are very much concerned about the situation in Gaza. Whether which party has the leniency, the flexibility, and support for the people of Gaza, those who are dying for no reason. This is one of the big things, but at home, we are very much struggling with the financial difficulties. Our kids are graduated, but they are not able to find jobs. So those same issues that we had 10 years ago, we have those issues even multiplied by many-fold. So that's what we are hearing from people on streets.
And especially with the young people, we see that they're having a very hard time breaking the housing market. This is probably one of the big issues there.
That is for sure, and we're hearing that both parties are making commitments. The question is, you made those commitments 10 years ago. Where are we? We are even in worse situation. Look, now, and I don't want to give credit to Donald Trump, but whatever he has done, he has woken up our politicians. Look, now our politicians saying that we need to unify all 10 provinces. We have barriers between the provinces. Really? Meaning that you had us live for decades with those barriers, and those politicians could not come together to fix our internal problems. So we needed Donald Trump to create the tariff issues before our politicians wake up, unfortunately.
So just touching back on something you mentioned with being in Mississauga and a very diverse community, and people really care about the Palestine and the Gaza situation. And the conservative sort of general position is very public. How do what would be your take on their position and how people should take it?
Yeah, so my personal view, and I could be 100% wrong on it, although my heart, my mind goes with the people of Gaza, the people, those who are being killed for no reason, right? But if you look at from the perspective of Canadian politicians, they have friends on both the sides, right? Unfortunately, we're not seeing as humanitarian support, more humanitarian support from the government, not in terms of aid, in terms of political assistance, right? Maybe because sometimes I think when you have friends on both sides, and your friend more on one side than the other side, then these things naturally come out, right? For example, whether you're right or wrong, your friend needs your help. This is what we're seeing, that these governments are standing up with the oppressor. But they may not seeing them as an oppressor. They're seeing them as their friends. So I personally see, we as Canadian Muslims, we need to see that this country is not governed by the Muslim law. This country is governed by their values, their things. Although we provide our input, we want to see things happening our way, but we need to find that right balance. Imagine if they completely support us in what we want to do, but they have other 90% of other friends and people who they have friendships with too. So it's a very hard one to say who is right, who is wrong from the Canadian government perspective. But we as Canadian Muslims still demand to the Liberal Party of Canada as well as the Conservative Party of Canada, whoever wins, we are hurt. It's difficult for us and our kids to sleep well because we see that things are not happening the way it should happen in Gaza with people. So we are with people of Gaza.
So my last question to you is: we're here at the launch of Muhammad Ishaq.
Yeah.
What is your? Why are you supporting him?
So I'm supporting him because I know Ishaq for a good 15, 20 years. And we have seen his journey from an ordinary member of the community to becoming a volunteer, then this, and now he has become a candidate. So we know Ishaq, and people buy from people, right? Although he's attached with Conservative Party of Canada, we needed to have seat on the table. Ishaq would be a strong force who would be taking the message of Canadian Muslims to the parliament, to those tables where they need to hear our perspective. Because when we are not there, as people say, if you're not on the table, you're on the menu. And that's what we expect from Ishaq, to keep his promise and to speak up when he has to speak up.
Ovais, thank you so much for taking this time. Really appreciate it.
Most welcome, man. Thank you.